Hey there, you're listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, and MMA on occasion. Here's your host, RJ Carbone.
And a high drive into left center field. Stanley's going to watch another one fly. Are you kidding me? DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a one
time to apologize to absolutely nobody.
At the wall. See ya! See ya! See ya! Mr. Nova. Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down and the game is tied.
Rose, you shook up the world again.
I did it again. Look, I did it, man. I really just had
Gonna have to. Brunson running away. Oh my! He has been the best player to put on that uniform.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome to episode 901 of BD4. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. The Yankees have split the first two games of this four-game set at Camden Yards because we didn't get a chance to record after the Minnesota series. I figured, all right, let's just split this series apart and we'll do two episodes for this one. So this is the first half of the series where we're covering the Yankees splitting the first two games of this series. Tipping our caps, though, to Carlos Rodon, Devin Williams, and Trent Grisham. All three of them we tip our caps to from the Minnesota series. But we are going to talk about this Baltimore series so far in this show, and we will also cover some important things going forward, some names to look at as we conclude the regular season and prepare for the big dance coming up in less than 2 weeks. We have, 9 games left of Major League of regular season baseball until we get to the American League playoffs. So we're going to be talking some playoff stuff, some keys, X factors, and some pitching and hitting in this episode a little bit. So that's what the deal is. But welcome to the show. Welcome to episode 901, and I appreciate you all for joining us. So with that said, we're going to head to a quick break before we get started here on BD4. Stay with us.
Quick break here, guys. Stay connected with BD4 on social media. Follow us on Instagram and X at BD4Pod, and find us on Facebook by searching BD4. Don't miss out. Join the conversation. Want more BD4? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and never miss an episode. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and share with your fellow fans. Don't forget to ring that bell so you're always the first to know when a new video drops.
All right. Welcome back to the show. Episode 901 of BD4. Where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA on occasion. But we are talking Yankees. We're talking Yanks O's. And the Yankees started this series yesterday on Thursday. Yesterday was super fun. Fried was elite. The offensive production was great yet again. Tonight was incredibly horrendous. Super lifeless, except for the seventh inning there. And they failed to take advantage of what could be a Boston loss. I haven't checked the score. They were losing last I checked. But you go back to Thursday, and the Yankees did win that yesterday, 7-0. As my fucking tablet starts to lag again, I'm going to throw it across the room. So it looks like we're going to have to shift over to audio only. In the meantime, we'll try to get back to a video feed in a bit. But on Thursday, yesterday, the Yankees did win that game 7-0. He had the lefty Fried going up against the lefty Povich. So the Yankee bats went for 7 runs on 9 hits, 4 doubles, 8 walks, 11 strikeouts, and they went 4 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They got their offense in this game via some small ball, right? They played a lot of small ball. Of their 9 hits, 5 of them were singles. There was a bloop single in there. They did not need a single home run. They had a sac fly in there. So for all you old men who hate the long ball, this one's for you. Against Povich, 3 runs in 5 innings. Top of the first inning, Ahmed Rosario continues to be just great with the Yankees, and he rips a 2-run double down the line. Top of the 5th inning, the Yankees get another run, they get another run off of Povich. Austin Wells with an RBI bloop single to make it 3-zip. They get 4 more, the Yankees do, on the Baltimore bullpen in 4 innings, and those 4 runs came all in the top of the 7th. Paul Goldschmidt, RBI single, Aaron Judge with a sac fly, and Giancarlo Stanton with a 2-run double. So that was nice to see from him, as he has been struggling for a while now. That made it 7-0 Yankees. So there was your offense. Stanton goes 1 for 4, those 2 RBIs. Judge goes 0 for 2, couple of walks, a sac fly, and an RBI. Goldie goes 2 for 5 with an RBI. Rosario goes 1 for 2 with a double and 2 RBIs. Jazz Chisholm goes 1 for 2 with a double and a caught stealing. Jose Caballero goes 1 for 2 with 2 walks, and he was also caught stealing. Anthony Volpe 1 for 4 with a stolen base. And Austin Wells in this outing 2 for 3 with a walk and an RBI. On the mound for the Yankees in this game was Max Fried. And he was fantastic. He goes 7 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 1 walk to 13 strikeouts, 87 pitches, gets the win. So, I mean, you see 87 pitches right there. He could have went for a complete game shutout if he didn't get pulled. Obviously, the Yankees are trying to just keep him healthy for next month. But he was fantastic, and it's very cliche. I know it's a very cliche thing to say about Max Fried, but he is, as we fucking start to lag again. This is really going to piss me off and get me to throw this out the window, and then I'm not going to be able to sell it for money. I record using a tablet for anybody listening. I'm going to have to get a real laptop because this shit's getting on my nerves. Every friggin' episode now. As I was saying, it's cliche. You know, you hear people overuse the shit out of this term, but like Max Fried really is a true pitcher. He's got a deep pitch mix, you know, that helps him get whiffs, ground balls, pop-ups, weak contact. You know, he can sneak an off-speed pitch backdoor, curveballs to righties. He's excellent at doing that. He can jam you on the front hip. You know, when he needs to dial it back to 98, 99 and escape a late inning jam, he will do that. He can cut his fastball. He can sink it. He can put a little running action to it, etc. And because he can do all those things, he's just such a tough at-bat for both righties and lefties, right? Even though he's a lefty, again, his ability to locate pitches on the back door against a righty just makes him that much more tough to hit. He's not an easy at-bat, even if you're going right on left with the matchup advantage. But in this game, I thought his changeup was looking exceptional. I mean, Baltimore hitters were 0 for 7 on it. He was just dominating their righties. Got a ton of swing and miss. He played the changeup off the heat. So that changeup being on, it makes his entire pitch mix that much better. You know, bottom of the first inning, he gets Mountcastle to strike out swinging. 96 up and in, and then he goes to a changeup bottom of the zone. He gets him to strike out swinging in the 3rd inning. Goes 2 changeups low and away. 6th inning comes. He gets Westberg to strike out swinging on a changeup low and away. Then he gets O'Neill to strike out swinging on a fastball, but he played the fastball and changeup off each other the entire at-bat. He gets Jackson to strike out looking in the bottom of the 7th inning. Changeup on the outer edge of the plate, just painted it. So it's just, it was a great pitch for him in this outing. And Max Fried has all of a sudden caught fire, right? For a guy who struggled in the middle of the summer, well, he's now been on fire in his last 6 starts, pitching to a 1.60 ERA, a 1.07 whip, 39 in the third innings, and 41 strikeouts. For a while there, his cut fastball was getting hit. It was getting hammered, drilled. So he tweaked his pitch mix a bit, went to more sinkers, went to more four-seamers. He also started throwing that four-seam fastball a lot harder this year. And because he's throwing harder this year, it's just helping his off-speed play, and his stuff is breaking a lot. Like the sinker's got a lot of tail and drop to it, and you got to credit the Yankees and Matt Blake for changing that grip on his sinker from what used to be a traditional two-seamer. That's now become a one-seam fastball for him. So that sinker has been working efficiently. The curveball's got a ton of 12-6 drop. And again, the fastball, the four-seamer, has a ton of life to it. He has thrown a 97-mile-an-hour four-seamer over 100 times this year. His career high was in 2022 when he threw it over 97 miles an hour, or 97 plus, less than 40 times. So that's impressive, especially given that he's throwing harder as the season progresses, and he's already surpassed his career high in innings. To be gaining velocity as you get deeper in innings, most guys do the opposite, right? You saw Luis Seal at the end of last year do the opposite. But yeah, Max Fried is not just a command pitcher with underwhelming stuff anymore that needs to rely on mixing it up and painting the edges. No, he's got above average stuff, and you got to credit Matt Blake and Sam Breen and the Yankee pitching staff. So great outing for Fried once again, just doing what an ace does, and he has had a dream first season in pinstripes. Couldn't have asked for better. So that was on Thursday. That was yesterday. Today, or tonight, the Yankees lose. I think they lose 4-2 was the final, right? It was the righty Will Warren against the lefty Trevor Rogers, who's a really good pitcher. Warren goes 5 1/3, 3 runs, 1 of them earned, 4 hits, couple of walks, only 4 strikeouts, 1 home run allowed, 87 pitches, and he takes the loss. I'm getting really tired of losing on Will Warren days. The guy is a walking loss. You can pencil in a loss every fucking time you see his name on the paper. I don't care if it's not his fault. He's just got that stench of a loss every time he comes in, and it's really starting to bother me. Puts the Yankees in a hole almost immediately. Bottom second, he throws a 93-mile-an-hour fastball up in the zone, so Mountcastle crushes it for a solo shot. It's 1-0 Baltimore. And then the next couple of runs that came across on him were in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Yankees on the verge of a trademark meltdown inning. Didn't let it really get much worse than it could have been, but, the first at-bat, he puts the leadoff man on because Will Warren makes an error on a ground ball. Then Henderson singles, and then during that play, Jazz Chisholm makes an error trying to flip the ball to first base out of his glove. So that puts runners on the corners. And then Mountcastle steps back up to the plate and drills a 104-mile-an-hour fly ball to the outfield and ends up being a sac fly. Judge doesn't even attempt to throw it home, and it was off a hanging sweeper. Obviously, Judge's arm is a noodle at this point. So it's 2-0 Baltimore there. And then he walks the guy Beavers, just lost the zone with his off speed in that at-bat. That's when he was pulled for Fernando Cruz, who lets the inherited runner come across. So it's 3-0 after the Yankees escape 6. But yeah, it was the offensive production that lacked tonight. Just 2 runs. They got nothing on Rogers. He went 6 innings, no runs. They showed some life in his final inning of work because third time through the order he does struggle. But they couldn't capitalize, right? Wells had a hard ground ball single up the middle to lead off the inning. That was the Yankees' first hit. Goldie was robbed of a home run to the pull side. Really nice play by the left fielder. And then in the very next at-bat, you get another play in left field, robbing Judge of a base hit. Hard ball to left field. The ball on replay, you could see he dropped the ball. I knew it right away. I could tell he dropped the ball, so I thought it was a pretty pathetic no challenge by the Yankee dugout. That could have ended up changing this game. I don't know why nobody's making a big deal about that. But pathetic job by the Yankee dugout there, by Aaron Boone and the crew in the replay center. The Baltimore bullpen. The Yankees got 2 runs on them in 3 innings. Top 7 in a 3-0 deficit. Jazz Chisholm with a 2-run shot left on left against Ennis, or Enns, whatever the hell his name is. Left on left. It's a cutter right below the letters. Gets a hold of it. And it's his 30th home run. So there's the 30-30 that everyone was predicting. Top 8. The Yanks failed to capitalize against the righty Garcia. You had Rice draw a walk. You had Judge single to put first and second with 1 out. Bellinger with a weak ground ball. He's out to make it second and third with 2 outs. And then Stanton comes to the plate. Him too with a weak ground out. So he continues to struggle, really tanking his season. My gosh. So Jazz goes 1 for 4. Those 2 RBIs on the home run. Wells goes 1 for 2 in this game with a walk. Judge 1 for 4. Slater 1 for 4. And that's it offensively. So just an ugly, ugly performance. You hope that the Yankees can wake the hell up this weekend and take 2 more so they could take 3 out of 4 overall. We'll talk more when we return from a break real quick. Stay with us.
Love BD4 but don't have the time to sit down and watch? Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify so you never miss an episode. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a 5-star rating and a quick review. It helps us grow and keeps the conversation going. Want everything BD4 in one place? Head to our website at bd4blog.com. You'll find links to every podcast platform, social media, and even our blog, where we dive deeper into all things BD4. Check it out now and stay connected.
Okay, welcome back to the show. I guess we'll start. You know what? Let me go to a different tab for a sec. Yeah, you know what? We'll start here. I want to talk about 2 relief pitchers. 2 relief pitchers who I really think will be significantly key in what the Yankees do this fall. And we've discussed it. We actually recently wrote a blog on it. And those 2 guys who I think can have a huge impact on what the Yankees do this fall are Camilo Doval and Devin Williams. Camilo Doval and Devin Williams. Those 2 guys have been the 2 worst arms in the bullpen, results-wise. And it's funny because you could make a really great, excellent case that those 2 guys have also, or are also the 2 most talented arms in the bullpen, right? You go back to the offseason. Devin Williams was acquired thinking that he was going to be the best closer in the American League after being the best closer in the National League for so many years, right? You thought that's what you were going to get. And so far you've gotten a guy with a 5+ ERA, 98% of the way through the season. Now, he's definitely dealt with some tough luck. Okay, I'm not just going to completely ignore some of the metrics. I know the expected ERA on him is sub-3. Yes, he's dealt with some Clay Holmes-itis, some soft contact bullshit hits, guys sticking the bat head out to put bat to the ball, which is a skill. Ground balls that just find holes to beat the shift, blue pits to shallow right field, just tough luck, some bad infield behind him, all that stuff, dumb shit on relay plays. That doesn't completely excuse him because he's had a lot of issues this year where you can blame him. The mental aspect of it, is it something that doesn't show up on Baseball Savant? Just a failure to adjust. Sometimes his pitch mix can be predictable. And the command, right? Not just the sequencing, but the command of his pitches, the command of his fastball is not always there. And we've right now he's hot. I would say lukewarm, but we've seen him do this before where he strings together a bunch of really good outings in a row and then he goes cold, right? He's been doing that for all year. But right now he is finding a bit of a rhythm And we can only hope and pray and meditate, do whatever the heck it is that you guys like to do, that it's for real this time. He has thrown 5 consecutive scoreless outings. They've been high leverage outings too. They've all been 7th or 8th inning and within 3 runs or less. It's the fastball location to me. If Devin Williams if he's locating that fastball with velocity, if he's throwing it 95 and it's located, that screwball, that airbender that he throws is going to play that much better. When he's getting ahead in counts and when he's setting up that screwball, when he's putting the fastball in the right spots, up and into righties with that arm side run, when he's able to backdoor that screwball, when he's not putting free base runners on. In his last 4 outings, he hasn't walked a single guy, and his strike rate is about 70%. So that's the guy you need. That's the Devin Williams that the Yankees traded for when they traded away Cortez and Durbin and their facial hair policy. That's the guy they were expecting to get. So they need to get him right. It's only right that the Yankees continue to use him in high leverage as we round up the regular season with a pretty weak schedule. You got to use him in tight situations, so he's ready. And the other guy that I mentioned was Camilo Doval. He was acquired back at the trade deadline, and the Yankees acquired him thinking they were getting this elite flamethrower in the back of the pen. And he too has a 5 ERA, or it's like a 5.5 ERA with a bunch of inherited runs allowed too. He is allowed to run, or he did in his first 9 appearances, he allowed an earned run in 5 of them with the Yankees. He's been better since allowing an earned run in just 2 of his last 11 appearances. However, there have been some appearances in there where he's given up some inherited runners to score. And a lot of those situations have been lower leverage situations. But you're still seeing better signs of late from Camilo Doval. You're seeing him get ahead in counts more. He's throwing first pitch strikes with that cutter. The slider's got more downward break to it. You're getting hitters to swing over the top of it. The cutter's got a little more depth lately. The sinker's showing more of that 2-seam action on it. So the stuff does look better lately. But with him, just like with Devin, it's all about command. And it's him just knowing where the ball is going, right? Don't Aroldis Chapman it. Because the kid's got pure stuff. He's got ridiculous stuff. He's got insane velocity, and he's got great movement on his pitches. That slider really drops off the table. He's an incredibly difficult and very tough arm angle to pick up if you're a right-handed bat trying to read that. So if both of these two guys, Camilo and Devin, are just as bad in the postseason as they've been this season, the Yankees have 0 shot at making it past 3 games. If one of these two guys are on point, the Yankees have a chance to do some damage. If you get both of them on point, pitching to their upside, what they can be and what they've shown before, there's no sky. The sky is the limit. The Yankees have the potential of winning a World Series if those two guys are right. Especially with Camilo Doval, because, again, this kid throws the ball. We've seen him touch 103. He's different. He's different than other guys in that bullpen, than Cruz, than Leiter, than Williams even. Because he doesn't rely on getting chased with his off speed. He can blow a fastball right by you if he wants to. That's the difference between him and the other guys. So it's all there. It's all on paper. The difference between having a bad bullpen and having a bullpen that's bad, that's the Yankees. I don't feel like they have, on paper, it should not be as bad as they've been. The names are there. So the possibility is always going to be there. But they just have to start getting their shit together. Of course, you need Weaver to right the ship. You need Fernando Cruz to right the ship. Mark Leiter would be nice to get him going again. But I'm looking at Camilo Doval and Devin Williams. We acquired you. We traded assets for you. We need you guys to be right. These were supposed to be big-time acquisitions. So that's how you win in baseball today. It's power and bullpen. I'll continue to say it. So if those two guys are right, the Yanks got a chance. If those two guys are not right, might as well get swept. Now, I want to go to the mound. I want to talk a little bit starting pitching because this has been a conversation among the fan base recently. You know, obviously the top of the rotation is set. We all know that Max Fried and Carlos Rodon, those two guys can match any American League contender, whether it's Crochet and Bayo, whether it is Framber and Hunter Brown, you name it. Wu and Logan Gilbert. Fried and Rodon are right there with all those guys. Those are going to be your games 1 and 2 starters. Game 3, I think, is where it gets interesting. Because you've got, listen, I don't want to make it seem like the Yankees are in dire straits with Game 3. You've got 3 decent options with impressive raw results, right? Like Will Warren. Now, the numbers on the screen, if you're watching the video feed, are entering tonight. So Will Warren's outing tonight is not included in this graphic here. But you've seen, you see the numbers on Will Warren's season. He's had a good, solid year, right? He's got an ERA of just below 4.5. He's striking out batters at an above average rate, getting swing and miss. You know, he's the kid. If there's one thing you can't knock the kid for, Will Warren is eating innings and making every single start. He's been healthy and he's been logging innings every single time they ask him to. So you got to give the kid credit. He's had a good year. Louis Seal, the way his season's gone, listen, he's got an ERA in the low 3s. Cam Schlittler, he's got an ERA below 3.5. So you got 3 options that, let's be honest, a lot of playoff teams would love to have one of these 3 guys as their number 3. I'm a little more... So I think Warren is probably on the outside looking in. You know, I think we can all agree that we probably don't want him starting in a postseason game. As nice as his rookie year has been, I don't think anybody wants him to sniff the mound as a starter, at least in the playoffs. So that leaves it to Cam Schlittler and Louis Seal. And if you're asking me, okay, and I'm just a stupid fan with a dumb podcast nobody listens to, but if you're asking me, I have a hard time giving Louis Seal the ball and feeling comfortable. I know he dominates the Boston Red Sox, and if they play them, I guess that's a positive. And in the playoffs, anything can happen. But I do get a little concerned because Louis Seal is not generating velocity anymore, and because of that, he's getting significantly less swing and miss. And I mean significantly less. The way his pitch mix is largely the same. It's 4-seam fastball half the time, slider to right-handers, change up to lefties, but also can mix it into righties pretty effectively. And again, the results have been there, right? He's had a solid year results-wise. But if you watch these starts and you pay close attention to Louis Seal with a close eye, and you look at the underlying metrics, there are concerning indicators, right? His average fastball velocity is down a full mile per hour. It feels like he's bottoming out at 93, 94, more than he's topping out at 98, 99 like he would last year. He's getting way less swing and miss because of that. His 4-seam whiff rate went from 28.5% last year to 19.3% this year. And I know some people, Yankees media too, have been saying that Louis Seal is intentionally throwing softer for more control. I'll continue to say, first of all, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The 97 that you had, that got you to the league. That won you Rookie of the Year. That helped you set the franchise rookie record for strikeouts. It helped you secure a postseason rotation spot as a rookie. You know? So nobody cared about the walks last year since it came with elite swing and miss stuff. He kept the ball out of play. Nobody was focusing too much on the walks. And if you were an old man who just wanted to be miserable. He was great. But the funny part about this change in attack is, even though he's throwing softer for more control, he's still just as wild, and he's still walking guys. But now he's continuing to walk guys while getting less swing and miss stuff, while he's lost the swing and miss stuff. Right? And so you look at the metrics and they back all that up. Last year he was 7th percentile in walk rate, right? Terrible, but he was also 76th percentile in whiff rate, 77th percentile in K rate. This season, he's 1st percentile in walk rate, so it's even worse. It's the worst walk rate in baseball, or among the worst. 25th percentile in whiff rate, 17th percentile in K rate. Those are insane drop-offs in the rankings. And he's also getting hit a little bit harder too. So all in all, with Luis Gil, it's like, if you're still walking guys and you're losing velocity and you're putting the ball in play more and it's hard contact with the 20th ranked defense in terms of outs above average behind you, that's a recipe for absolute disaster, especially against power hitting playoff lineups. So I am all aboard the Cam Schlittler train for Game 3. I know that Cam Schlittler walks guys too, but again, Cam Schlittler throws hard and he misses bats. Right? That's the thing with Cam Schlittler. I also love his poise and demeanor. He's always just calm out there. But he's got a great pitch mix. He's got the pitch mix for it. He's got the hard four-seam fastball, top of the zone. He can locate that pitch better than a lot of guys can. Hard slider at 94 with good break. They call it a cutter now. Great drop to his curveball. That thing drops off a cliff. So I'm all aboard the Cam Schlittler train. I would give him the ball. Everybody starts with no experience. Luis Gil didn't have experience until he got postseason experience. Give him the ball. And again, it's not to completely throw Will Warren out of the equation. I think Will Warren has had a solid rookie season. He's got decent stuff. The fastball's got elite backspin. Creates that rising action when it's coming at you. He's got a sweeper, slider, slurve, whatever you want to call it. That pitch has great shape and allows him to get righties very effectively. And then he's thrown more curveball, more changeup this year to help him neutralize lefties. The sinker plays to both sides nicely, but all of that depends on if he has his command, right? Especially his off-speed command. He doesn't always have his command, which has gotten him crushed by left-handed heavy lineups, which has gotten him crushed by playoff lineups. So I don't know if you would go Will Warren. Do the Yankees go full-on bullpen game? Do they use Luis Gil as the opener and they go piggyback with Cam Schlittler after that? I wouldn't be totally opposed to that either. But yeah, that's what I think the Game 3 should look like. I don't know what it's going to look like. I doubt it's going to look like what I just said, but those are my thoughts there. Anyways, we're going to wrap this up soon before I throw my tablet out the window. But real briefly, I want to talk about Austin Wells because he's quietly been finishing strong here. And, we did a checkup about a week or two ago on Austin Wells and saying, well, if he can finish off the season strong, then that's huge going into October. Well, we're doing a little bit of a checkup right now, and he's still hitting. He hasn't stopped. So you stretch this back to including tonight. Now, I put these numbers down before he struck out in his final at-bat, but I did include his first 2 plate appearances. So in his last 17 games with a plate appearance, Austin Wells, 294 batting average, 356 on base, 608 slug, equating a 964 OPS. 4 doubles, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs, 6 walks to a 10% walk rate, 17 strikeouts to a 28% K rate. So again, that was before his very final at bat tonight. So I guess you take one off, take a couple of points off the averages there, but you get the point. He's got an OPS in the high 9s in his last 17, right? Has he found his swing at the right time? Still got 8 games left, hopefully. But he's super important for the bottom of the order, right? Yankees can't have him going completely cold if Volpe and McMahon are not going to hit. With this lineup, you have so much depth to it that you really only need one of Volpe, McMahon, or Wells to start hitting. And you look at a guy like Austin Wells, you don't expect much from a catcher. And with his elite framing behind the plate, if he can give you a slightly above average bat, like he's been giving you, that's a win. You just wish it came with some more consistency because the on-base stuff is annoying. Like the OPS, the WRC plus, those types of numbers, they're heavily skewed and carried by his slugging percentages, right? Like if you hit a lot of home runs and extra base hits, those numbers are going to go up a lot more. If you walk and you get on base, that's not going to go up as much. So that means like you can make your OPS look a lot better by slugging. But if you're getting on base, if that's carrying your OPS, that means you're contributing every day because it doesn't go up as much. It's not as dramatic in its increase. That's the only thing is like you wish you saw more consistency. But, at the end of the day, power is power. And you cannot deny that Wells produces runs, right? He gives you a lot of RBIs, gives you a lot of sac flies, gives you a lot of extra base hits. It's from a catcher. So you got to take it and run with it. I don't consider him a great hitter. So if you're getting this, it's a win for me. So with that said, folks, we're going to wrap this one up with our trivia question right now. Let's get to it if I can pull it up here. Okay. So, in this episode 901 of the podcast, our trivia question of the day is, in 2011, CC Sabathia was the last Yankee lefty before Max Fried to strike out 13 or more batters in a single game. Against which team was it? All right. In 2011, CC Sabathia was the last Yankees lefty before Max Fried to strike out 13 or more batters in a single game. Against which team was it? So let me know the answer wherever you can reach me. Folks, I appreciate you all tuning in. I always do. That's going to do it for this episode. We'll wrap it up right here. We are just under 40 minutes. But I do appreciate you all tuning in and sticking around. So I'll see you at the end of this series. The Yanks are so far tied with Baltimore at an unfortunate 1-1, 2 games into this 4-game set. So we'll see what happens the rest of the way. See you soon. Well, if you made it this far, that means you listened to or watched the entire episode. Thank you. Just remember to follow, subscribe, download, rate and review, and all that fun stuff to help out the podcast. And I will see you in the next episode of BD4.